This is a dramatic reading of the play Jacuzzi, written by Aziza Wright. Claire will be played by Aziza, Sean will be played by April, and Kyle will be played by Laze. This is Jacuzzi.
Scene 1. The wedding. Scene opens with an elderly black woman walking in on the phone with friend, explaining everything she had to do that day.
Girl, it was so much. First, Sasha didn't like the way the bridesmaids walked in. She wanted them to walk faster so that she could have a slower entrance with the same song still playing. Then she thought the piano was too low. So now I have to go buy a mic for a piano. A piano! On top of having to get my hair and makeup done tomorrow too. Girl, yes, that's what I said. But Eric was so calm the whole time and just watched her as she ran the show. I tell you, those two are a match made in heaven. But anyway, girl, I'm gonna let you go because I need to relax before the big day tomorrow. And I don't want to drop my phone in this jacuzzi. Alright, girl. I'll see you there. Good night.
Lights fade out. Scene 2. The beers. Scene opens with Claire putting her robe on the table next to the jacuzzi and hides her phone in her robe. She gets in and sits in silence. Soon after, two men laughing loudly and talking about some basketball game approach the jacuzzi. They quiet down as they get closer and see the woman in. The two men, both appearing to be in their mid-40s, get in the jacuzzi and place a six-pack of beers next to them.
So anyway, man, that layup was something I've never seen. You think he's a new draft pick?
Nah, he ain't ready. This was his best game yet. He still needs to prove himself. Then he got it for sure.
Sean turns to Claire.
You want a beer?
Oh, me? No, thank you. I stopped drinking beer a long time ago.
Why?
Never liked it.
Really? Man, I love beer.
Man, you don't love anything.
Hey, that's not true. I love beer, sports, and fucking. Sorry, I know there's a lady present. But hey, that's just me. Oh, and the law, since I have to say that.
Man, shut up. You know you only became a lawyer because your dad's a judge.
Hey, fuck you. But yeah, you sure you don't want a beer?
He holds up a beer to Claire. Claire, now slightly concerned, shakes her head. She feels she should be concerned, but noticed the men seem to be in their own world on the other side of the jacuzzi. Still, she wanted to change the conversation.
I just came here to relax. My daughter's getting married tomorrow, and today was the last rehearsal. It was such a stressful day. Are either of you married?
The men both shake their head.
I have a daughter, though. She's 19. Me and the mom were basically kids when we had her, and I wasn't about to get married. I like my bachelor life too much.
Both men laugh and cheer their beer.
I see.
How long you been married, though?
35 years. We've had our ups and downs, but we got 3 beautiful girls out of it and 2 grandchildren now.
Claire reaches over and shows the two men photos of her grandkids.
Wow. See, I'm not cut out for that. To be with just one person forever? Ain't no way. Too many fine honeys out there for me to tap into. I even told my daughter she should never get married.
That's silly. What if she falls in love one day?
Nah, she knows better. I told her how we as men think. Maybe you and your husband are an exception, but to me, no man can commit to a woman forever without cheating. That's just how it is.
Wait, you think all men cheat?
Kyle and Sean look at one another and take a big swig, finishing their beers, and laugh.
Are you sure you don't want a beer?
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, to answer your question, yes. Every man, I don't care who they are, could never be faithful to a woman because we, by nature, need and should have access to whatever we want. There are too many options for us to just settle with one woman forever. It's not realistic.
That's just not true. Yes, some men cheat and lie and all that. But to say every man does is just ridiculous. And to be frank, this coming from 2 black men is unsettling.
I'm just saying what we all thinking. But since you brought race into it, the problem is these black girls out here being irresponsible and getting pregnant.
What?
Okay, he didn't mean it.
You know it takes 2 people to get pregnant, right? And actually, what does it have to do with men cheating?
I'm just saying, if these little girls weren't out here being so fast, our boys won't have to pretend to commit so early and can really explore, as they should.
Steam is slowly coming from the jacuzzi. Claire is visibly unsettled. Sean turns to Claire.
Okay, look. It sounds bad, I know, but it's kinda true. I'm a basketball coach and I see it all the time. All these boys need is time to be themselves, and they can't get that having to be locked down to one girl. It's not what they want.
Claire shifts in the jacuzzi, angrily splashing some water onto the cases of beer.
And what about what the girls want? You're both coming from a very one-sided perspective here. This is the problem with how some of us are being raised up.
Maybe we should talk about...
You know, I'm tired of hearing y'all talk. I'm not about to sit up here and have y'all disrespecting black women like this.
We not.
My turn to talk. Blaming black girls for the much bigger issue that is lack of sex education makes y'all seem racist and sexist. Also, you want to sit up here and assume that all men are the same and have the same fucked up perceptions of love and women as y'all do? My husband is a great man who is and has always been committed to me because we love each other. To be frank, y'all sound like ignorant drunks.
Claire turns to Sean specifically now, standing up and moving closer.
What you said about your daughter, now that makes me sad. She had to grow up with your misguided perceptions of love and women.
Claire then turns her head to Kyle.
And for you, you seem to have it really twisted. I can't even imagine how you love fucking so much, because no woman in her right mind would ever want to make love to a 40-year-old child who doesn't know the first thing about women.
Claire sits back down and rolls her eyes. The two boys look at each other and are visibly upset. Kyle puts his beer down. Steam is now pouring into the stage from the jacuzzi.
Hey, you don't know nothing. You're living in a fantasy, sweetheart. Statistics don't lie. 51% of marriages end in divorce. You know why? Because these women think they finally got a man who won't treat them like their father did, and their father's father, and so on. But they're wrong. And when they come to me on some bullshit, crying, talk about he cheated, or we lost the spark, that's because that shit never existed in the first damn place. And women need to realize that and adjust themselves accordingly. And when your daughter hires me as her divorce attorney in 5 years, I'll make sure to give her a good rate.
Boy, I don't know who the fuck you
And
think you're
with
talking
all due respect, don't you dare talk about my daughter. I'll make sure she's protected for a reason. That's my role as her father. She can't see how we really are. That's why I never let her see me smile or dance or show any type of affection. Because it'll go to her head. She'll think she can make a man happy one day, and she can't.
Sean puts his beer down.
Growing up, the few times a week I did see my father, he was tired from working all damn day and all damn night and never wanted to do anything with me. He worked at a packaging company, and one day I followed him to work because I wanted to see what a man did all day. I followed him to a family down the street where a woman greeted him at the door, and 3 kids ran out to hug their father. I ran home to tell my mom, and you know what she did when I told her? Nothing. She did nothing. Never told him nothing. Didn't even say nothing when I told her because she already knew. That day told me everything I needed to know about my role as a father and a man.
There was a long silence. The water was still. Sean sits back opening another beer. Kyle sits in deep thought. Claire is looking down, shaking her head. Scene 3. Calvin. Claire's phone is ringing. She picks up the phone, has a brief conversation causing her to become irritated. She stands up, turns to get her robe, and steps out of the jacuzzi. She is now standing right beside the jacuzzi.
My daughter's florist came down with the flu, so I need to take care of that.
Claire begins to walk away, stops, and turns to the men.
Look, whatever you've been through in your childhood is one thing, but we have a responsibility as parents to do better for our kids. I wish you both the best.
Claire walks off. There is a long pause as the guys continue to drink in silence.
Hey, I didn't know that about your dad. That he had 2 families?
It's whatever. He did what he wanted. What about your dad?
Kyle moved to the opposite side of the jacuzzi and grabbed another beer.
Man, all he wanted from me was to practice law, get married, and have some kids like he did. I became a lawyer at least, but my marriage failed. And Calvin...
Kyle paused and looked down into the water.
Hey man, you don't have to talk about it. I know it was a hard time.
Sean paused and took a swig of beer, also looking down.
He was too young, man.
Kyle, almost on the verge of tears.
What that lady was saying about love and shit, I wish I could have come back from it. I wish we could have come back, but we couldn't. How can you come back from something like that? You just can't, man.
Kyle wipes his eyes.
So you haven't seen Kim?
Nah, just on Facebook now and then. But last time I went to see him on his birthday, she left some flowers. I saw a note from him.
Kyle takes another swig of beer and sits back.
Hey, man, but enough of this sad shit. You really think James ain't ready?
I'm telling you, dude. Give him another season, I promise.
The 2 men continue to talk about basketball. Lights fade out.